Alright, hello everyone. This is going to be a tutorial on how to set up the best streaming options on OBS for version 18.0.1. If you do have a different version of OBS than this, then this may look a little bit different to you. As always, I will also put a link to OBS in the description below if you do not already have it. First and foremost, before we do jump into it, make sure you leave a like and hit that subscribe button. It greatly helps out a lot, and I'd appreciate that so much. So, once we get into this and you pull up OBS for the first time, it will look slightly different. It'll be white instead of dark. The white hurts my eyes, so we'll stick with the dark for now. What you're going to jump into, it's going to look a little bit different. You're going to see in the bottom left-hand corner there, scenes, and then right beside that, sources. We'll start there. Your scene is going to be what's controlling everything here. So you'll create a scene here, for example. And then your sources is actually going to be your display capture or the actual capture of the video game. So this is going to be really important. Your scene just controls however many different options you can have. So you can have multiple scenes and multiple sources ready to go. So if you switch games, you don't have to go through all these different settings. So, feel free to create more than one at a time if you'd like. And all you have to do is just click on them, and you'll be good to go. And you don't have to go through this again. Your source is going to be extremely important because, like I said, this is the actual capture of the video game. Now, with this, depending on if you're using a capture card or just OBS, it may be slightly different from you. Also, depending on if you're wanting to capture the exact display here, or if you want your video game to be in that exact window. For now, we'll go the window capture. What you're currently seeing is the display capture, because it's capturing this entire display, this entire monitor here. But what I normally run whenever I do the actual videos is the window capture. So we'll pull it up here, and we'll do create new. You can name it, whatever you want. And then it's going to pop up what window you want. Of course, we can either do this or another window. Once you have the game running, you have to have the game running first for it to read what window you want it to record. Once you have your game pulled up, it should, figure out what window it is. You'll select it, and then you'll click OK. I have mine currently disabled, so it doesn't matter. And then if you ever need to change it, just go over here, go to properties, and then just pull it up and select the window that you want. It's up to you. You'll want to select capture cursor so it follows the mouse around. Then what we'll want to do is jump straight into the options. Of course, before we do that here, of course you can see start streaming, start recording, studio mode, settings, or exit. Of course, what we're going to be looking strictly for today is start streaming. In the future, if you'd like, I can create a recording one for you. It's honestly not that different, but just drop a comment if you'd like to see that. So this first bit here is going to be nothing but personal preference. Your language, your theme, whether if you want the white or the dark, if you want for it to automatically check for updates, and all of this, whether if you want to automatically record while you're streaming, whether if you want it to automatically snap to the end of the screen, up to you. We're not going to be jumping into that. We'll jump into your stream option very last, so we'll keep going down the list. Your output is very important. Your output mode, switch it from simple to advanced. We're going to be working on the streaming tab here. Your audio track is going to be depending on how many different audio tracks you want, whether it be one or two, whether if you have like a mix amp to separate the music from your voice or anything like that. Typically, you'll just go with one. Your encoder is going to be your graphics card and everything. It should pop up like 2 or X264. I'd switch it to whatever one you have, the other option that pops up. And then you want to, if you want to rescale your output, you would do that here, whether it be from 1080 to 720 or anything like that. You can select that if you want. It is also down here in the video option, so if you don't do it here, it's okay. Your rate control, you want to switch from whatever the default is to CBR, unless it is CBR. Your bit rate is going to be depending on you. You'll have to play around with it. I run a 3500 bit rate. Some people run 4000. Some people run, less than mine. It just depends on your computer. So you honestly just have to play around and see what is the best for you. Your preset, profile, level, GPU, B frames. I would just copy what I have here because that honestly isn't going to be changing. The next tab down here is going to be the audio file. In here, in the audio, your sample rate, you'll want to figure out what your computer is running as your sample rate and change it to that, whether it be 44 or 48. How you find that is you simply go down here, go to the little speaker, you can select either one of these, you can get to it from here. So playback settings, find whatever it is here that you have as your audio device. Right click, properties, advance, and it should pop up automatically here what you're running. You want to make sure it matches. Of course, your channel should be stereo. It is 2017 these days. Your speakers are going to be, your desktop audio devices are going to be whatever you are currently running as your audio, whether it be just your monitors or if you have a headset or anything like that. Make sure you do select that so the audio comes into that, and so you can hear everything you're playing. If you have a second audio device, of course you select that here, but I don't have one. Your mic is going to be the first one here. Of course, make sure you select whatever you have, or any auxiliary that you may be running. You can select that here in device 2 or device 3. I just had, my microphone in here, so I'm going to select that. If you want to enable push to talk and everything like that, once again, personal preference, you could do that here. I'm not going to be doing that. Your video settings, another very important one. Your video settings, what you want to run as a base, depends on the monitor that you have. Typically these days it's going to be either 720 or 1080. Mine's in 1080. I don't have a 4K monitor. If you have 4K, it should pop up there. Your output is what it's going to be scaled down to whenever you're going to be streaming/recording. So if you don't want your 1080 to be what you're streaming out, you can change it. You can change it here. I highly recommend it. You can do 720 if you'd like. Of course, my monitors and everything are at 1080. So that's going to be that. You can switch around with this as well. I have mine for the 32, for the sharpen scale. You don't have to. Once again, you can play around with that. I think this personally looks the best, but I am no expert. Your FPS, your frames per second. If you're running 1080, you're probably going to want 60 frames per second. If you're outputting it and scaling it down to 720, you could probably get away with 30 frames per second. Personal preference with all of this, honestly. I run 60 at 1080. Looks the best, looks the crispiest. Hotkeys. I have hotkeys selected. I do not run any hotkeys, even though it looks like I do. I had them selected just to test them out before this, but I honestly find it a bit of a hassle because I frankly can't remember what keys I select to be hotkeyed to start and stop the stream. So, if you want to do all this, more power to you. You can. Your advanced settings. Honestly, with these advanced settings, just copy what I have here because they shouldn't be changing, and they shouldn't be changed from default, I don't believe. Just make sure the color format is NV12, the color space is 709, color range is full. And that is pretty much what you want to do before you start streaming. Now, the most important thing to stream is to go over to the stream tab here. Select streaming service if it's not already selected. Now, your service is going to be depending on what you're going to be streaming on, whether it be YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, whatever it may be. And then all you have to do from that particular website is get your stream key. I'll let you do that. You can Google on how to find your stream key. It is, up to you there. All you have to do is copy and paste your stream key to the stream key box. And then hit apply with all of these settings. And OK, and you should be streaming from there on out. Don't ever show your stream key to anyone. They can stream on your profile. Well, So make sure you don't show that with anyone. That's why I'm not showing you how to get it or what mine is. And that's it. You should be good to go from there. If you have any troubles or any issues, let me know in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to help you out with it as best as I can. And that's going to do it for us. So make sure you drop that like and that subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.